Back with you, Jonathan Chick, back with you with another edition of Shtisel Man, and it's been a few weeks. Sorry for the delay in getting back to our rhythm of Shtisel Man episodes, but hopefully this one will be a real treat and you'll enjoy some of the things we discuss. We're talking about episode 4 in season 3, episode 4, and of course, there would be plenty to talk about with regard to Ruchami and Hanina and that whole story arc. But I really want to spend a little bit of time, sort of more of an overarching idea about who plays their characters most authentically in an Orthodox Jewish manner. And obviously, this is one of the great things about the show, that the characters and the actors are portraying their Orthodox characters so brilliantly and so accurately. But not all characters, not all actors do as good a job as others. Although in the main, this series really captures it. I really wanted to bring this in for this episode because Racheli really strikes me in so many ways as authentically Orthodox, and I'll tell you why. Not necessarily more than other characters like Gitti or Shulam, but what I love about the Racheli character is that she's Orthodox and yet worldly, and there is a whole sort of subset of Orthodox people, or even you would sort of put them into the Haredi, if you will, overarching Haredi, population, denomination, if you will. But really, there's a whole group of Haredim that fervently religious, ultra-Orthodox, etc., that are quite sort of modern in their worldly outlook. Some people call them Chardals, which are sort of, a combination of Haredim, but also Dati Leumi, which are sort of more religiously, nationally inclined, Zionistically inclined, but that's really not the best way to describe it. It's just people who are Haredim, and meaning that they are fully religious, fully observant, but their approach to Judaism is more about harmony and in terms of taking the world and using the world in an appropriate manner. Not the same as modern Orthodox, which is a discussion we've had before, but getting back to our main point here. So Racheli displays this sort of worldliness and elegance, if you will, and yet is authentically Orthodox in her portrayal, without a doubt. And I find that to be very refreshing, because the other characters are, while, brilliantly done, they are more in the greater Haredi bucket and not necessarily in the Orthodox, this sort of bucket that I'm referring to. So I love the portrayal of Racheli. Let's go back to, though, the overarching portrayals, and almost like a rating. If I would give a rating about to who really does the best job of portraying Orthodox characters, I'd have to give number one to Gitti. I mean, Gitti, just unbelievable how she completely sort of merges into her role as a Orthodox mother and wife. And, I know there have been situations where people have stopped her in the street and cannot believe, like, I think there's a story that she was walking in the street and she wasn't dressed in the usual Orthodox long skirt, stockings, and closed-toed shoes, and a sweater blouse or whatnot, and a shaitel and a hair covering. And she might have been wearing jeans or I don't know what. And someone was screamed at her, like, you're an Orthodox woman. How could you dress like that? So I don't know if that story is apocryphal or not, but the bottom line is that she does such an amazing job to capture that character seamlessly. So I would literally give her the number one in terms of who portrays Orthodox best. Number two has to be Shulam. Shulam, although he's a sort of bigger than life character, he really does do an amazing job. And of course, the series rides on him being authentic to his Orthodox persona. So no question that Shulam really is outstanding. Outstanding. Dovilik Glickman is outstanding in that role. As far as others in the series, I would say that there are some that don't do such a great job. And on the other extreme, I'll say Shulam's brother Nachum, although he's a great actor, I don't think he nails it at all in terms of the Orthodox, sort of feeling that he's really truly from, as we say, from really religious. I think it's a much more of an act, and you could see through it. Also, in terms of, interestingly enough, Akiva, although his acting is outstanding and he sort of captures the persona of who Akiva is, I'm not sure he's the most, compelling character in terms of really speaking Orthodox. I'll tell you who does a really sweet job of it, and that's Yasala. Yasala really, I think, captures what Yeshiva Bacher feels like and does for the most part. Still a young character. I would say, no question, Ruchami is outstanding. Lipa's very good, although I would not say Lipa's in the top. Although Zohar Strauss, I think, is when I saw his banter between him and Gitti, the Gitti character, in one of the documentaries they did. It's still, though, I would not put him anywhere near Gitti in terms of the authenticity of playing Lipa. Although he does a fine job. He does a fine job. Looking at the other characters, interestingly, Tzvi Aryeh, not a major character, but I think Tzvi Aryeh really also is quite authentic in his portrayal. His wife, so-so. And as I mentioned, with Chami and Chanina. But, overall, it goes without saying that these characters are, for the most part, the show would not work without a incredibly talented cast, and also the writing, which reflects the Orthodox sort of understanding of the culture and the vision of what the culture stands for, and also the nuances as well as the pathos that we talk about so often that makes Shtisel so great. Hope you enjoyed this little dissertation on the Orthodox authenticity, and we'll be back with more Shtisel Man episodes soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot.